Okay, so let's just get back into the deal. So what was the niche that you went into?
Concrete.
Concrete, I love it. How many leads did you send from start to finish? Like how many leads did you feel like was enough to solidify this deal?
I think 3 leads. 3 leads was like he was ready to go. He just had a few questions and things that needed to be ironed out. And so like 5 in total was like he had signed up. Like
he was ready.
Honestly, those 2, the last 2, they wouldn't have been necessary. It was just that they had come in. So it was like, I already knew he was going to go for it. So I didn't have a problem just like giving him those 2 as well. And I think that actually made him just like a little bit more excited because it was like, he was already planning to do it. And then it was like, oh shit, 2 more. Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. Well, I mentioned a few calls ago, but like sometimes I feel like, and this isn't like always the case, but like sometimes you'll start running your ads or whatever. You get a lead and then you send it to them. Then you don't get another lead for 3 days. Then you're like, well, crap, I don't want to like sound like there's this huge gap. So you almost lose the first business owner. The second business owner you find, you get like 3 leads at one point. You send him 3 like in 2 days and he's like, how did that happen? And then you just get some like the momentum's just cranking. They're just like, dude, this is awesome. Like send me more.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Did you have any objections with this guy, or it is a guy or is it a woman?
Yeah, it's a guy. So he's a very established business owner. And my other business owner, he was a small business, like just started off. So this guy, he has a receptionist, like he knows exactly the questions to ask. But because I, kind of know what I'm doing a little bit, I was able to, just answer the questions. And what were the objections? Like, honestly, like not really. It was kind of like, how many leads can you guarantee me? Yeah. And honestly, I feel like really confident about this site because it's been around for a while. So it's generating a lot. But I mean, I've learned before you don't need to guarantee anything. Just like a general average. Like there was times when I would guarantee like, I can guarantee 10 a month, but just don't even put numbers on it. That's sort of my philosophy on that. It's like, that there's going to be an ebb and flow. And I think just like being very forthcoming with people, like December is going to be different than July. And, this is why you sign a 6-month agreement, because you're going to have this sort of ebb and flow of things. And that's just how business works. Just no concrete numbers. Yeah. Unless it's a flat fee. That's a concrete number.
That's true. I've actually noticed that. Like my first couple, and I've lost a couple deals because of that, I feel like, was because I oversold it. I was like, hey, like 15, like I was like, it was like 15. And then I'm like, well, crap, like I got 12 last, like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you get them 12 and you said 15, like they're going to nitpick every reason why they can't do it. So I think if I got you 12, like what if? Like it's what if it's not 12?
And I mean, and kind of putting it all up front, like, Nick talks about doing that, sort of, you're already bringing up the objections before they've even objected. So you're already touching on it. Like, you're going to have some months where it's super crazy. You're going to have some months, not so much, and that's why you stick it out over the 6-month period. Then also touching on things that people are going to bring up in advance just eliminates the objection.
I love it. And so it sounds like this guy's pretty established, right? Like I almost think this is something I've had to learn, but like I've had Zoom calls where I'm like, dude, this guy's so solid. He's ready. He's great on the phone, but he's just not big enough. Like they're just not big enough to pay that type of money. And so I should have like pushed him off. I should have been like, hey, like how many, like, are you doing this full time, or are you just like doing a side gig? Cause I don't want a side gig. And some people do that and they try to make it seem like they're this company, but they're really not. So you have to be very specific and selective about who you want to get on a call with.
Totally. And I think one of the biggest things that I did in the beginning, like I had lists of contractors and business owners that I wanted to call, but I was legit scared to call because I'm like, they're too successful. Like, what are they going to need me for? They probably have like a marketing team. That is like such the wrong mindset, because this guy actually has a website and he has a marketing guy, but yet he's still, because he's big enough where he's like, yeah, okay, I'll throw some money at you, see what you can do. I didn't really grasp that. I thought that I should be going for kind of people that needed me like to get going. And it's like, no, because to that guy, $1,800 a month is like a lot. Whereas to this guy who's really established, there's not as much on the line for him.
That's cool. And this is something I want to bring up as well. Like I had a call yesterday, didn't go through sadly, but it was a good call. I was like, okay, this guy seems really legit. I sent him like 4 leads, seemed like a really good dude. Well, he was a smaller company, which I knew he did another job as well, but I kind of just thought he was like just doing it kind of for fun or whatever, So I got on the call, so cool, get to the end, pitch him the price. And he's like, dude, this sounds so good, but like, I just don't know if I'm like ready for this, like right now, like if I can handle this. And I was like, isn't that like a reason why you should be doing this? Like you say you want to do this full time, but like you're not willing to pay the money. Like if you're in this predicament and you want to get out of it and you want to stop working your job, you need to do something. And I need to say that, but like you don't want to be rude and be like, what else are you going to do? Are you going to go with Angie's Home Advisor, or are you just going to wait and just word of mouth? That's all you're going to do. It's so frustrating, but every time I get off the call, I'm like, dude, if they would only realize that you need to do something. I mean, if you can do it, great, but most guys won't. So it's either this or you're going to wait and you're just going to have to suffer until someone finds you again.
That's exactly what this whole thing is about, right? It's like you need to expedite. If you want success, you have to be able to be willing to invest to try to expedite it, because you can take your time. And like, that's what I've honestly done. This is the first program I've really invested in. And I was always afraid to, because it was like, but I'm not successful enough yet to invest. And it's like, that doesn't really make any sense. I don't know about most people watching, but like in my world, I'm not surrounded by entrepreneurial people. They're not in my circle. So it's like a business owner just starting out, he needs to invest in order to get where he wants to be.
It's just mindset. And I think it's hard for everyone to get out of. And like, I bet if I was in his situation, I'd probably be the same way. Like I'm trying to count my pennies and I'm just trying to like cut costs. But like when you really realize that, like you got to spend money to make money. And the best thing that you can invest in is yourself. And I think that's what people don't understand is like, I know stuff's expensive. I know education, like schooling's not cheap, but like down the road, like your knowledge is worth all the money in the world.